Hi everybody, I'm Misty. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I wanted to share a recipe with you for Southern chicken and dumplings. Southern chicken and dumplings don't have vegetables. They're just chicken, broth, and dumplings. They're delicious. If you've ever eaten at Cracker Barrel and you love their chicken and dumplings, you should appreciate this one. It's easy to make and they're very good. I'm starting by putting about 1 1/4 pounds boneless, skinless chicken breast in a Dutch oven. And I've added 6 cups of cold water. I'm putting it over medium-high heat to bring it up to a boil, and I'll be back when it comes to a boil. Hi guys, welcome back. I thought my camera was recording and it wasn't, so I'm going to catch you up on what I've done so far. I diced my chicken into small bite-sized pieces. I added it back into the broth, or back into the water. I added 4 cups of cold water. I added 2 1/2 tablespoons of Knorr chicken bouillon, but you can use bouillon cubes. You could use better than bouillon chicken base. Whatever you have, just add it in. If you don't have any bouillon, you could add 4 cups of chicken broth at that point. I also added a teaspoon of black pepper. We like a lot of pepper in our dumplings. You adjust it to your taste. If you do not like black pepper, it's optional. You don't have to add it. If you really like black pepper, you can add more. Just keep in mind that you can always add more at the end, but you can't take it away. So I'm going to bring this back up to a boil, and I'll be right back with you to make the dumplings. For the dumplings, I'm going to start with 2 cups of Bisquick baking mix. I'm going to add to that 2/3 of a cup of milk. And this should mix up to a kind of sticky biscuit consistency. Be sure to scrape the bottom of the bowl to get the dry Bisquick. And you can see this came together thick. So I am going to sprinkle more Bisquick onto my silicone baking mat. I'm using the baking mat just for easy cleanup. If you all have watched many of my videos, I'm sure you know I make a mess when I cook. I don't mean to. It's just part of it. Alright. Now my hands are clean, and I'm just going to sprinkle some more Bisquick on the top so that I don't stick to the dough. I'm just going to flip it and pat it flat. I have patted the dumplings down. They're about 1/4 of an inch thick. And I'm going to use my rocking knife to cut them. If you have a pizza cutter, that's another easy way to cut them. And I just want to cut these probably in about 1 inch by 1.5 inch strip. Some are smaller, it doesn't matter. You can see them sliding around. The silicone baking mat does not let them stick. So the dumplings are ready to go into the stock. Now I'm just going to take the dumplings, just a couple at a time, and I'm going to drop them into the boiling broth. Okay, I scooted my mat over closer to the eye so that I could do this one-handed because I'm holding my phone. And we are just going to drop these dumplings in. And I'm probably going to add a little less than half of the dumplings to the pot right now. The reason I do it this way is because I like, for the first batch of dumplings that goes in, to cook down and thicken the broth. I like a thick, rich broth. This is the easiest way I've found to do it. So I'm just going to let these simmer and cook. I'm also going to reduce the heat now. Sorry, that's my timer. I'm going to reduce the heat to medium low. I'm going to let these simmer probably 10 minutes, maybe 15, before I add in the rest of the dumplings. I'll see you back in a few minutes. I just wanted to give you a quick shot of how these look while they're cooking. When you add them to the boiling water, they will puff up and expand. As they simmer and cook down, they will lower in the pot and reduce in size. Okay, the dumplings have been cooking now for about 10 minutes. And you can see that a lot of them have sank in the pan. You can also tell that they have reduced in size. I'm going to add the second half of the dumplings now, and then we'll continue to cook it for another 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, I added about a quarter of what was left, and the pot's getting full, so I'm going to let those cook for a few minutes before I add the last bunch of dumplings. Okay, I've let the dumplings, the second batch of dumplings, cook around 10 to 15 minutes until they reduced in size. Some of them started to sink, and I'm going to add the remainder of the dumplings, and then I'm going to allow it to cook for another 10 to 15 minutes. Then we'll give it a taste, see if it needs more pepper, see if it needs more bouillon, and make those adjustments then. I'll be right back. As the dumplings are cooking, be sure to come in and give them a stir to keep the dumplings from sticking to the bottom of the pot. Every few minutes should be good. Also, if you notice that your broth is getting too thick, you can add a cup of water and more bouillon. I prefer, at this point, if you have it, to use stock. That way you don't have to worry about it mixing, and that will thin it down. But the texture I have here is just what we like. It's almost a gravy thickness. And if you notice that my broth looks a little bit brown, it's the Knorr chicken bouillon that gives it that color. The color will depend on what type of bouillon or broth you use. Okay, the dumplings are done. It has been about 40 minutes total since I first started adding the dumplings in. The first batch that I added cooked for about 10 minutes, and then the second about 15, and this last batch I've let cook about 15 minutes. These look delicious. The broth is nice and thick. At this point, you can add more pepper if you'd like. Don't forget to taste it. Also, you can add more broth if it's needed, or if your soup part is too thick, just add a little more broth to it. Add a little more pepper if you'd like. These will be delicious served up. Your family is going to love you for it. Today I wanted to share with you a recipe for Southern. Today I wanted to share with you a recipe for Southern chicken and dumplings. Today I wanted to share a recipe with you for Southern chicken and dumplings.